This is the Red Over reaction show and Wycombe preview, reacting to yesterday's 2-2 draw with Lincoln City and previewing Wycombe. Let's get into it. So, Al, you were there at Bank, or in brackets LNER Stadium as it's known nowadays. Seemed sort of, well, to get some cliches in, a game of two halves, and got off to a pretty poor start, getting away a penalty in first 5 minutes.
Yeah, same at Tuesday night, isn't it? At Bradford, we ended up conceding first 5 minutes. Penalty at our end, at away end. Captain, I can't understand it. For me, it looked a cheap penalty from where I was sat. But Jordan Williams supposedly tripped him up, and yet again, penalty, 1-0 on back foot straight away. And first half, we were so pedestrian, it were unreal. It were unreal, we were so pedestrian. We hardly created anything at all. And then fans were a bit, well, some fans were booing them off at half time. And that second half, we come out, and all of a sudden, tempo increased, and it was sharper, crisper passing. It changed when Cosgrove came on. Cosgrove made a difference. Best start I've seen for Cosgrove. He put a shift in, and first goal come from ball coming down his channel, and then ball over to far post for a Barry Cotter goal. Who didn't for me have best of games yet again, but ball went back at net. And then a good goal. Then I think we got a bit of fortune for the second goal, straight in front of us. We were behind nets, and Udrop comes in again. McAtee 2-1. You're thinking, hold on now for about 20 minutes. We've got this. Another away win, but no. 88 minutes. Luke Connell went off on 87. I thought he had a good game. He lasted more minutes. And then what happens then? From a corner, Killip. I thought that were poor from Killip. I thought he could have done better. Straight paddock ball straight into their lads' feet to put it back at net. And 2 points lost. Really 2 points lost for me. On a plus side, we've only lost one away from home. And I would like to say that I was talking to Anton Roberts' family, and I would like to thank Lincoln City, Barnsley Football Club, and all the fans for the minute's applause in memory of Anton.
Yeah, it's I'm just going to extend that thanks to Lincoln, especially for being so collaborative in this time and sort of supportive of doing the things for Anton. I think it's been really great to see sort of football come together in a way to celebrate Anton's life, which has been fantastic to see, especially yesterday. Andy, couple of things there which Al touched on, especially the second goal, which do you think it was a corner or not? Because I've seen there's been a lot of debate on whether it's a corner, but as much as it's not a corner, you still got the opportunity to defend it. And as Al mentioned, as a goalkeeper, you can't be parrying the ball back into the area which Killip did. It's got to go away from there. You've got to catch it.
I don't think it was a corner at all, but it's that bit's immaterial, isn't it? The referee gives a corner. That's what it is. And I didn't actually have a problem with Killip saving it because it were point blank straight at him. What I've got a problem with is we must be the only team whose goalkeeper shimmies on his line when the ball's dropping 2 yards off, 2 yards out. Everybody else just says thank you very much, goalkeeper. Either just collects it or punches it clear. Usually just collects it and says thank you very much. Catch it as Al's just shown you. Do it again, Al. Just like this, just like that, and then dropped at floor and waste a few seconds, and jobs are good. And I can't get my head round that within 2 yards off our goal line is shimming, is getting it all that. I thought it were a good save. It could have got it away, but point blank. But it shouldn't have been. It just shouldn't have been. And I thought that was quite embarrassing. I thought the first goal was absolutely embarrassing. That if I could say, I'm not. I can't keep going on about it. That he shouldn't be that Jordan shouldn't be at the back. He should be at wing back. or if he wants to play somebody else there, not play then. But he shouldn't be playing there, because that has got to be one of the pappiest challenges. I think it were a penalty, Al. It was just inside box, or just don't like. I'm not sure, but it were a penalty anyway. He just pushed the toe out and tripped him up. Again, we must be only team in this league who defends with a big toe, as opposed to get it ball. I thought that was awful. As Alan said, I think we had about from stats that they showed. I think we had about 68% possession in the first half, but didn't get very far. So that. But again, as the analytical genius that is Alan Smith says, the second half were a lot better, and we had, I think, something like 70% possession, and we're starting to make it count. And we felt, I was watching it with my son John, and we felt it's coming, a goal's coming, and duly it comes. Well held off, about time, well held off and laid off by Sam Cosgrove, who did lead the line well when he came on. And then again, McAtee, lovely, moved back into midfield, because Callum Stiles didn't have his best game. The first half, he was back, it kept breaking down every time it went to Callum. And I know a lot of people are getting on his back, but I think he's a good player. But yesterday weren't his best game. I don't think I thought it were better when he went off and McAtee dropped back into that position. And I thought it's all over, because they'd offered nothing in the second half. It would just keep it going. Just keep it going. They're not going to get a goal, these, because they weren't playing very well. They didn't look like scoring at all, I didn't think. So I thought it was nice and easy. But we went back to crab football. Instead of just going for it and, let's go for a third, let's go for a fourth. We didn't. And, dropped further and further back. And, they're not Barcelona. But, then the corner comes and you think, for goodness sake. So much got to be done with that, especially given, the rumours, I don't know, in newspapers, what have you, that Middlesbrough are talking about recalling Liam Roberts in January. Not that he's playing for us anyway at this minute. So much got to be done, because it's not very good in defence. Two really weak
Andy,
goals to concede.
You remember? I can't remember in my lifetime following Reds giving so many penalties away in a season early on before we get to Christmas.
They're not proper challengers, Al. Look at some of those, a little tippy-tappy at back. I mean, we know they're going to go down like note. But, it's all tippy-tappies, little pushes, little shoves. I don't think referees are that keen on us. But, because some of the things that are given against us ain't going to be given for us. And, I know people think, well, it doesn't even up over a season. It doesn't. But we can't keep just slinging a little toe out at it. Who else does that? What other team does that? You see robust defender, getting in front of attacker, so he can't get into that position. If you're going to tackle somebody, if you're going to sling a toe out, do it before they get in the box. We'll let them come into the box, and then we start diddling about around them. Those two, I think, really weak mistakes cost us yesterday. So I do think we played that apart. I thought we played quite well. I was surprised in the second half, especially, how well we played, given the tumultuous week that we've had. I was worried that it were going to, because it wouldn't surprise me. Players are human. If it affected the players more than it did, with the FA Cup and the Bradford thing, but I thought we played pretty well and looked well in control in that second half until we literally threw it away. Anyway, that's that then.
Yeah, it was one of those games. If you are wondering why Tracy doesn't have a video on, she is away somewhere with limited signal, so she's got no video on, but we're hoping the audio will work. So Tracy, You were there yesterday, and obviously the 2 goals which conceded were both soft. But on the positive note, it was nice to see Luca Connell get almost a full game, seeing him coming back, and sort of, I think in that second half you saw the team take a little bit of a boost in a different shape due to his presence in there.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me.
We can. It's a good start.
Yeah, when you say I am somewhere, I'm about 8 miles outside Lincoln in a field in my camper van, so you know I'm somewhere. At least I think I am.
You'd never look better, Tracy.
It was quite a good night. It was quite a good night in Lincoln, so I think I am. Yeah, I thought Luca grew into the game. He started a bit more tentatively. I thought the midfield 3, you know, that lead. I look at League One, I see Kane, Styles, and Connell, and I don't think there's a team to touch us if those 3 play as they should to their potential. That midfield 3 is what everyone's been dreaming of, but it just didn't seem to work in the first half. They didn't seem to gel. Obviously, they've not played together as a 3 this season, so that wasn't the biggest surprise. Styles obviously coming back from international duty, Connell coming back from a very, very long layoff, so it weren't surprising. People were, I think, a bit unrealistic in thinking that them 3 were going to rock up and be the Barcelona midfield of times gone by. But I thought Luca grew into the game, and certainly in the second half, he had a lot more influence on it going forwards, because what he brings in that role, unlike what Russell is, that when he gets the ball, he looks for a forward pass. In the first half, we didn't pass forward very well at all in terms of the back 3 spent far too much time, again, passing the ball around. But yeah, I just think it's going to get better. And as I said sort of last week, it's just the influence he has on the team. He's just, and I think I'm not sure if it was the second goal or it might have been where Styles ought to have scored. He put the ball to Herbie Kane. Luca made a pass to Herbie Kane with like the outside of his right foot, and he just found him in acres of space. And I just thought probably nobody else in the team could have done that. So he's only gonna get sort of better and better. But for me, we don't use the left hand side enough. Cadden seems to be stood in acres of space for such significant amount of time, and we don't get the ball to him fast enough. It's as if we are so right sided, trying to look for Cotter, God knows why. But because, to be honest, I don't mind him going forwards. I think he's an asset going forwards because he's a nuisance, and I think other teams don't know what he's doing, and sometimes to a degree we don't. But I think Cadden is far more consistent, especially his crossing, and we just don't get the ball to him quick enough. Well, we don't get the ball to him enough anyway. But in the second half, when we got the ball to Cadden more on the left, we create far more problems. And it came from that side, the cross for Cotter to score, and it's so infuriating watching us when he stood there, Cadden, and he must be going berserk. Nobody would just don't seem to pass the ball to him. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think that was one thing which I'd seen a screenshot from the Bradford game of whoever was playing right wing back, the ball's on the left, and they're stood in so much room, but the time in which it was going to take that concoction of players to move the ball across that have been thinking, I think hopefully with Luca being back, it's going to increase that pace. And like you've mentioned, he's got the vision and ability to switch that ball much quicker than what we've had previously in this team. Al, you got anything else to add to yesterday's performance of before we start previewing Wycombe?
Just that the troops, Oakwell troops, are getting frustrated. As I said, it should have been 3 points. For me, yesterday, it was 2 points dropped. And at the moment, we're on free fall, aren't we? I know we've got games in hand, but we've gone down now to 9th. So it's imperative that we bounce back straight away on Tuesday against Wycombe.
Yeah, I know, obviously, you've just mentioned we've got the games in hand. Although I do think if we win them all, it doesn't really make that much difference to our league standing necessarily, because most of the sides, I think the top 3 have played 17, Stevenage on 19, but Stevenage are 7 points in front of us anyway. So I don't think we actually catch any of them back up, which is a bit of a shame, but it does keep us it keeps his name floating on the top 6, and doesn't it? If we win them.
It does, but like Alan said, it's don't think on that performance it'd be totally fair to say we were in free fall, but we can't get 2 goals away and expect to win matches. So that's the bit for me. Although there is one bit we had, and I'll just tell you about predictions. We had 70 predictions, so that's up a bit again. What did not surprise me? No, it far from surprised me. Normally our predictions are usually incredibly weighted, whether it's by heart or by head, in Barnsley's favour to win a game. Not this one. Now, whether that's because I'm assuming that's because of the showing against Derby County, the win against Horsham, that we must be the only team that can win but lose. The poor display by other players against Bradford City, and then of course the FA Cup debacle of this week. But only 27 people thought that Barnsley would win. 29 thought that Lincoln would win, and 14 thought it would be a draw. Now, that weren't borne out by the match, because we should have won that match. But of the 14, I know Alan got a 1-1, as did Jake Tong on the away end, bless him. He'd gone for 1-1. But there were 4 people that went for 2-2. So they're coming for you, 4 people. Marley Clinton, nice one, Marley. David Stratton, mine and Tracy's favourite, Alan Steeples, got 2-2. And me. So that header right at the end, Eomnia, is it? Eoma.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Eoma. Cheers, pal. He got me 3 points. It's the only silver lining I can find, because rest of it, not so much with the goals, but at least I got 3 points. At least I got 3 points.
I'm having a go at you, Mr. Simcox. Josh Atherton's not saying that. It did him for 3 points again. He were on a roll until that header went in. Is that right, Josh?
Yeah, you were not being negative in last show.
I know. You were up for it. I know, Josh. I know. It just shows you success and failure spins on a single thing, doesn't it? A single moment in time.
It does.
Happy moment in time, and it all changes, Josh. All changes from hero to zero, Josh. And I went from 0 to hero. Well, not a hero, because the sooner you win than me get flipping points for a 2-2 draw. So that apart, now. No, I'm not as downhearted as I'm with Alan. 2 points, absolutely 2 points dropped, and I didn't think I'd be saying that today, because I didn't think that's how it were going to pan out. But it were 2 points dropped, so it shows that we didn't play that badly, particularly the second half. I thought we looked in total control of the game. Whenever they got the ball and lugged it, they're just lugging it clear and lugging it clear and look. Well, they could not keep the ball, particularly in the second half, and put a passage of play together. So for that, I think that's a lot better. Well, there's still Tuesday.
I thought they were poor side, Andy, to be honest, and we should have done them. I thought they were poor.
They weren't as good as I thought they were going to be, but maybe that were about us, Al. Maybe we can't. Sometimes we have to give our lads a bit of credit that maybe they didn't play that well.
They were there
because we didn't let them.
They were there for taking, weren't they? Especially when we equalised, there were a definite change in sort of, well, the fans, but the team, and then when we scored, it was like a matter of time before we got 2-1. Then I'm thinking, carry on, because I could see 3-4 even. We were just, like you say, Andy, they couldn't get out of their house. We were all over them, and we just did that silly thing again of just taking his foot off gas for just, I don't know if it's lapse in concentration. I don't know if it's a tactic. You don't honestly know, but it is frustrating. And I just think, they were there for taking, and it were definitely 2 points lost.
Well, if it's a tactic, Tracy, it's a crap tactic. I'll tell you
poor,
that.
Yeah, but I don't know, and that's why I don't want to go down the old Collins's, because you don't know. We don't know if it's the players that are instigating that, and they're thinking, right, it's 2-1, and they do it without realising that they suddenly start dropping back. But then again, if it is that, then the manager needs to be having a go at the side and driving them forwards, because, like I said, I was thinking 3-4. They were just falling to pieces.
But it's a long time, Tracy, 20 minutes to try and hold on to that one goal lead.
When you've no reason to, because that's the thing, with no reason to, because we were, like you say, when Cosgrove came on, he changed the dynamic of the game. He brought Cole into the game. He woke up for the last half hour because I think he was still, bless him, on a plane coming from Jamaica for probably 50 minutes, and then he sort of sprung into life. We were all over him, and I just think, yeah, it were, again, to have 61% possession away from home and draw 2-2 it. It's just frustrating, I think, is the overriding feeling.
And there's a chance to fix some frustrations on Tuesday night when we host Wycombe. One of them sides that they're just a solid League One team, and you never want to go up against them. I mean, you look at last season when I think they're probably one of the only times last season when we literally looked so out of our depth against the side, and they just knew how to beat us last season. So, going to be a tricky one on Tuesday, isn't it?
Definitely. We're an early game in August under Duff, and we lost 3-0. And Josh Gowan, well, bossed it. And I think Alfie Mawson were in that game, and he was one who I think assisted for third goal for them. They were all over us like a rash. Although yesterday the bottom side, Reading, beat them 2-1, didn't they, at Wycombe? So we've got to bounce back. We've got to have the heart. We've got to have the passion. We've got to have the tempo. We've got to be clinical. We have got to be clinical, and we've got on Tuesday night to get winning back at Oakwell again. And I think pressure's going to be on players to perform. And if they don't perform in that first half, fans on Tuesday night are going to be on the back again. And it's imperative that we get 3 points and get us promotion push on track again, if that's where we want to be. If not, a point for me, I said after these 2 games, I thought 4 points out of 6 will be a good return. So they've got to go out and get 3 points to get to 4 out of 6.
Yeah, I think it is one of those. I mean, you look at Wycombe's recent form, and it's not looking too good. I've just pulled it up here and looking at it. A lot of draws in there. Draws against good sides though. Peterborough and Oxford. Lost to Bolton, drew with Cambridge, lost to Stevenage, beat Wimbledon in Bristol Street Motors Trophy, and then lost to Reading yesterday. So struggling to just get over the line with them wins, but seems like they're maintaining decent results against the good sides in this league.
Well, let's hope that we're not the catalyst to get them back on track, because in general they've not won in the last 6 games away from home. They're not as bad though. They've won a couple away from home in the last 6, 2-2, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats. They've got a minus goal difference. They scored 23 and conceded 26. So they've all, for a bit now, under Ainsworth. I know he's no longer there, but under Gareth Ainsworth, they were the ultimate housery team that spoiled. I can't say the proper. That's it's a family show, Josh. That spoiled things. And as Alan said at the match at Oakwell last year, Josh Scowen ran the game. I don't think that they're the same side. I really don't think they're the same side. I think they'll. I think we'll do them. They're not scoring that many goals, and I think it's shown because they've signed Lyle Taylor, from what I can gather, as a free agent. Formerly of Notts Forest, and there were times when Charlton, and he used to cause us a few problems at Charlton, but he's now 33, so you're knocking on a bit now, Lyle. So I ain't worried about him. He's not played for a bit. I ain't worried about any. Kieran Sadlier from ex-Donny, he's all right. Josh has said they've got Sam Vokes, so I'm not sure how much he's been playing, because he's always been a bit of a thorn in our side. But they're not going to be on Tuesday night, because they're not the side they were. I think they'll be frustrated. I think it'll be a tasty game, because we'll have a lot of the ball, and they'll be running about, falling down a lot. So I'm not particularly worried about Tuesday night, apart from it'll be wrap up warm, folks. It's going to be cold, and that's the only thing. It'll be cold.
We call that Eastupper.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to play 3-4-3. With a main striker and a couple we've said before, a couple of number 10s, hanging back a bit. So 4 in midfield, and like I say, if we can stop Josh Scowen falling down a lot, because I love Josh Scowen. I really were disappointed when we sold him, because I thought he were an outstanding player for us, and is an outstanding player, full stop. But if he stays on his feet, he will cause us a few problems. But he's only one person, and we're better than them, and we play anything like we played yesterday, and it's don't worry about it. Don't worry, Al. Just wrap up warm, Al. You know cold gets to you. Wrap up warm. Aching bones, Al. But we'll be all right, Al. Don't worry.
As Andy mentioned there, Tracy, obviously, Ainsworth's gone, Matt Bloomfield's in charge now. So you'd hope that with that, there has been a level of, as Andy mentioned, gamesmanship, which has gone from their game, which I think their sides, which we struggle against, are teams that are big, strong, brussant, and play the do the dark arts well. So hopefully,
your sort of team, Josh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Gareth Ainsworth and Wycombe fan during that period. You'd hope that we'd have more of a chance on Tuesday, given that there's probably going to be a little bit of a difference to this Wycombe side.
Yeah, you'd think, but do you know what? I had a look at their squad and had a bit of a, and I'm a bit more, I'm less optimistic than Andy. I look at their players and think that worries me because I think we struggle against the teams that have got, like, I've looked, Sam Vokes has played quite a bit. Then they've got Richard Keogh at the back. He's another one that's,
he's older than Smithy.
Yeah, but again, you say Housery, he's the master of it, him. Always seems to do decent against us. Normally, can weigh in with a goal. Scowen, as we've said, I also agree, he was a great player and continues to be, especially at League One level. They've got Gareth McCleary, Lau Taylor. They are a who's who of sort of decent championship players, which makes me think that League One, it's whether they've got the fitness, I suppose, and we've certainly got that. But I worry a little bit. I also there's that Harry Boys, who was a Barnsley lad, who's from Sheffield United, on loan, and I think he's one of their star players. He's been doing very well, so he'll want to do well, won't he? Coming back to but well as a Barnsley lad. I'm a bit more worried. I think they could cause us some problems, literally, because they are the older dark arts, the old men of the league, and I think we struggle against physical sides. I really do. And I think that the back three yesterday, certainly in sort of, and you're right about Williams, we're not going to go back over old ground, but I'm with you. And if I thought Lapata did quite well when he came on. So for me, you've got to get Lapata, MDG and McCart and get Williams out there, because I think that they'll cause us some problems, and that back three looked a bit shaky at times. And them front three for Lincoln caused us problems early doors, but not later on. So yeah, I'm not as optimistic. I think they could old man us and cause us some physicality problems.
It was nice seeing Lapata yesterday, Tracy, with an Andy haircut.
I know, he's gone for a real crew cut, hasn't he?
That's gonna it's gonna add to his game that I've been a big.
He looks even harder. I mean, he looked hard, and now he looks even harder.
Yeah, less weight as well on top of his head. So that's gonna, as you've mentioned there, and that's making more streamlined, and he'll hit a new top speed. Al, prediction then. What do you reckon to Tuesday night?
Oh, well, let's get some goals. Let's go for a 3-0 to Barnsley.
Goodness grief. Put that down as a 1. Andy, that's a 1. What do you reckon, Andy?
Oh, I reckon it's going to be easy. I know what you're saying, but they're not going to get ball. It's going to be easy. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a stupid goal away. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to us.
I'm surprised you go for a Desmond. I thought another, back up your Desmond with another one.
No, because we're going to win 2-1. But theirs will be an injury time goal, I think. from penalty spot probably, or a corner, one or other.
Does Joe Jacobson still play for Wycombe? Is it Joe Jacobson who's played left back? I think he was their penalty taker. I remember he scored at Oakwell once. I think maybe when we were both in Championship.
Oh, they'll get a penalty because Josh Scowen will go down in penalty area if Lyle Taylor doesn't. What? In fact, I think I've said it before. I think a cross will come over.
Oh,
and they'll all go down. There'll be 4 players all go down claiming penalties. So
that reminds me of Lyle Taylor's penalties. Lyle Taylor's the one that takes a massively long run up, but walks up to the ball, doesn't he? And then, if we get a penalty away, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching that run up.
I know I've been picked. I think Lyle Taylor's played well over the years. I thought he were outstanding at Charlton, particularly. But he's not played much lately, so I don't think he'll be quite the same. But he's a strong lad. I know I was saying a bit about him being old earlier, but he deserves a bit of respect, even though he's 33, because he's earned that. I mean, he's a player you don't want to play against. I do appreciate that.
I've just checked Scout's captain as well for them now.
Well, I'll be concentrating on that then, rather than doing hotels.
Tracy, as Andy's mentioned there, backing up your point of the more experienced heads, you've got Lyle Taylor coming back in at 33, and a prolific goal scorer as well throughout his career. So what's your prediction?
Well, I've done a bit of stat hunting. So they've got 31% chance of clean. Yeah, I know, 31% chance clean sheets, and they average 1.5 a game conceding, but they're better away than home, like you said, Andy. So I worry about crosses into the box, especially with Killip isn't the strongest. So yeah, that worries me a little bit. I'm gonna be, and do you know what? I am so positive, but I am gonna be negative. I think we're gonna lose, unfortunately. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 win to them.
Oh,
and Killip's like Dracula, isn't he? He hates crosses. Oh.
Hey, wrong season, Al. Wrong season. We've had Halloween.
That'd have been perfect. That day before Halloween. If
find a Christmas one.
I think I'm gonna.
He's always a couple of games behind, Al. Never mind. I liked it, Al. I liked it, mate.
I think I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna one apiece. I'll go a bit different. Seeing as I
down the Football League, you come.
Yeah, as soon as I got robbed the other day, that's it. Now I'm just gonna start being different in my predictions and see what happens. Right, that just about rounds it up then. So we'll be back on Wednesday with a reaction show to the Wycombe game, and we'll be discussing some other things as well that have been going on in and around the club. So yes, we'll catch you up then. I'll see you later, you Reds.